Hi, I'm Jen Coyne. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the Peak Fleet and host of KXRW's Authenticity Matters. I'm here with Stephen Glickman, who's our operations manager, operations director, and we're here today to talk to you about the emotional impact of the pandemic we're currently facing.
So I had some questions for you.
Yeah.
And the first one is, how are you feeling right now?
I'll just be real right now. We talked about doing some videos for this because my partner, Brian, wrote a really thought-provoking blog about people's values in the context of the pandemic and how people are struggling probably mentally as much as they are physically during this time. And it got me thinking that it would be maybe helpful if we reached out and we started talking about our own personal values. So that was sort of the premise. But as we started doing this, honestly, I've been feeling, I'm a Gemini, so maybe I feel this way naturally, but sort of two different ways. I feel stressed and concerned and worried, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. And I also feel really optimistic. I am really happy to see where people are doing their part, seeing businesses, helping the elderly, helping people that are at risk, trying to improve things. That really makes me feel good and in alignment with our values of empathy, authenticity, and kindness. But honestly, as a small business person, it's also very worrying. And I feel for all of the small business people out here, and there's so many of us that, are trying to understand our cash flow situation. We have, many of us have employees and contractors we work with, and we're trying to support that ecosystem. And we feel a sense of obligation to our family and to our community. And so that is very concerning. And my reaction to that is to act. And we can talk a little bit more throughout the series about our values and what kind of drives us. But for me, it drives me to act.
Okay, so you're acting to kind of address your feelings.
In part, it is a selfish thing, I think, to a degree, where you feel like I got to do something, right?
So that's what we're doing. Making a video, something you're doing.
Making a video is something that we're doing. Trying to stay connected. I've been saying we're physically distancing ourselves. We're not really trying to socially distance ourselves because human connection is so important, and we want to stay connected as humans.
And so this really gets to, and I think this is what Brian wrote about, is one of the ways to address your feelings is to check in with your core values.
That's right. Yeah.
And we wanted to talk about one of your core values, which was wisdom.
Yeah. If you're familiar with our deck of cards, it looks like this. It's a product we're, proud to present and work with all of our clients with. The end of the deck is wisdom. And so we want to go through the entire deck. But I wanted to start with the end in mind because we hope that there's an end to this that's positive at some point. And one of my core values is wisdom. So I wanted to talk about wisdom because I think that wisdom, as the card says, is the quality of having experience and knowledge mixed with good judgment. And I think that all of our good judgment is sort of being tested at this time. And so I think with wisdom, the thing that we struggle with right now is that things are changing so fast, right? So we try to incorporate the knowledge into our knowledge bank, into our brains. We try to interpret things and say, how should I act? And when things are changing very quickly, it's hard to know what to do without sort of that impulse reaction to go out and hoard toilet paper or canned food or whatever other necessities. You feel like it kind of goes down to that base instinct as opposed to a measured, level-headed response to things. One of the things that I would say is important at this time is to understand your core values and check in with yourself. Check in and try to make sure that you're centering yourself and living intentionally in alignment with those values. Because when you start to feel bad, emotionally a lot of times, it's because things are happening and you're not able to, or you are not acting in alignment with your values. So there's a couple of ways I would recommend that people stay in alignment with their values. Number one is to be present and be mindful. And there's lots of ways that you can do that. But I would suggest a couple of things that I've found is meditation, and then just listening and taking a deep breath and really focusing on where you're at right now. Are you safe right now? Are you healthy right now? Checking in with how you're doing at this point in time.
So a little bit of how are you feeling and why are you feeling that way?
Right. And I have a couple of tips for people as far as resources. On Authenticity Matters, we have had 2 months, two or three different guests that have talked about mindfulness and being present. And it was Michaela Jones and Harry Dudley especially. We had those. And so check out the back episodes of Authenticity Matters. You can find those on Facebook and also on our website at thepeakfleet.com.
We have a page that along the top, if you click on Authenticity Matters,
Right.
It'll take you to an archive of all the shows we've done so far.
Right.
You mentioned you can, checking in with yourself and our values cards. What are some ways that the Peak Fleet can help in this time?
We do, after 20 years of both of us working in high tech, we work...
You and Brian.
Me and Brian. We work exceptionally well in a virtual environment. We offer coaching. We offer, other types of consultation. We offer strategic planning. A lot of those things are going to be needed in the coming months. And, reach out to me or Brian, because we... have a lot of tools in our toolkit and can help people process through this time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please share it with others. And also, we'd love to hear from you. There's a couple ways you can reach out to us. You can reach us at info@thepeakfleet.com, through the comments, of course, and also at our website. And at our website, you can check out the Peak Values cards that we talked about. Stay healthy and stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.